Have you ever worked so hard to become a dentist, and then when you get out and start working, you feel like you just don't belong in your work environment and you feel like an outsider, either because of the color of your skin or your gender? Look, I get it. You want to feel like you belong in a profession, especially one that you've worked so hard to get into.
Is that what you want?
Yes, that's what I want.
That's not an unreasonable ask. I want to break down what a lot of dentists face in the industry today. You may look a certain way, and it may not match your environment, and you're not alone. Here's a scary stat. Among the 200,000 dentists who work in America, in 2022, only 36.7% of them are female. And between 2010 and 2020, the percentage of female dentists increased from 24% to 35%. This increase is expected to continue for the years to come as there are more women being accepted into dental school. This is great. But now I want to share another concerning stat. As of 2022, 68.4% of dentists are white, 19.4% of dentists are Asian, 5.9% of dentists are Hispanic, 3.8% of dentists are Black, and 2% are some other race. This is alarming because when you think about it, people find comfort in their providers. And the truth is not everybody feels comfortable by someone treating them who is a different color than they are. And as much as I like to tell people to keep an open mind, this is just a fact. And so you have these communities and populations that are underserved and also underrepresented. And so this is something that you just need to be aware of. Another stat that I wanted to share with you guys is the average age of retirement in dentistry. The average age of retirement is 68 years old. This means that you have dentists who came out probably when they were 28 years old and practiced for 40 years. That in itself is wild. But also, it goes to show you that there are a lot of older dentists still hanging around. And honestly, it's hard to make room for younger, new dentists when so many older dentists are still around. There's also a lot of older mindsets that still perpetuate in the field. They also have different ways of treating people. I had a post on social media that went viral when I talked about how assistants have instruments thrown at them. And a lot of the comments said that this is a common thing amongst older dentists, and they don't really see it with the newer generation. And so my take on that is that it doesn't matter what your age is. As a dentist, you need to treat other people with kindness, your patients and your staff. You need to respect them. You need to let them know that you care about them, and you need to treat people the way that you want to be treated. Simply put, there is no place for disrespecting other people in the workplace. Everybody is showing up and everybody is trying. Trying may look different for each individual, but the fact that they're there, that alone should warrant some gratitude. So my message to you is to make sure that you are showing this gratitude because it goes a long way. I want to ask you a question. Is the office you work at older than you? So I don't know about you, but I've been in several situations where I just felt like my environment didn't match me. Look, I'm young. I've been out for 5 years. I've worked in 11 different offices, so I've seen it all. Some of the offices are new. Some of the offices are old. One of the offices was literally older than me. I was 28 years old and this office was like 30 years old. Look, I don't only care about looks, but working in an old office, being a young dentist, just made me feel a little uncomfortable. I feel like the level of care that I was providing didn't match my surroundings, right? So it's like this decor was from the early 2000s, late 90s. And I'm out here doing aligners, which is a $5,000 to $6,000 procedure. It just felt weird showing patients the value and telling them about this procedure, and then my team asking them basically for a $6,000 payment, and you just had like decor that was like barely hanging on to the wall, and the place just looked outdated. And while patients still accepted and agreed to treatment, I just didn't feel like the vibe matched what we were doing, right? And so if you're in a similar situation, I totally get it. Comment below and share a story with me about how you feel about your workplace or previous workplaces. Today, I work part-time and I'm in actually a very modern practice. It's kind of a practice for millennials, and I like it because I noticed that it attracts not only really good patients, it attracts amazing team members as well. So this is something that I cherish. Unrelated to this, I kind of wanted to go back to the topic of talking just about diversity in the workplace. There have been so many offices where I've been the darkest employee, and it didn't really bother me so much because I grew up in a predominantly white area, just Ponte Vedra, Florida. And so I think at a young age, I just became comfortable being the darkest person in the room. It wasn't until I went to college and then dental school where I really started to see more diversity. I lived in Manhattan for 7 years, and there is so much cultural diversity there. But it was awesome because I actually felt like I belonged more. I didn't feel like an outsider. And it wasn't until I had this shift in perspective and this change in my environment where I actually felt a difference. So before we move forward in the video, please subscribe to the channel. It takes a lot of time and thought to make these videos, and when I see subscribers go up, it really motivates me to keep making more valuable content for you guys. I really appreciate it. So let me ask you this. Do you feel like your voice doesn't matter in your profession? It's easy to stay quiet and keep doing things the way that they've always been done, right? Don't ruffle any feathers, just go with the flow. For example, I felt this way because I felt like I couldn't say things or speak on topics because I wasn't old enough or I didn't have enough experience, because all the people who were speaking on topics were older and they didn't look like me. They weren't brown guys on stages talking about things things in the field. And it wasn't until I started posting on social media and I started using my voice and I started sharing my perspective and I started sharing my experiences. And that is when I started to get more confidence in myself. And I actually saw how many people I was able to make an impact on. And I realized that I didn't need to get invited to go speak on stages. I had a stage. It was social media. That was my platform. And it's so cool because there is no age requirement for you to be able to share your experiences. And I found that the more that I authentically share my experiences on social media, people have engaged with them and also shared similar stories. This helped build an environment of inclusion for me. And I started to feel less alone in this profession and a part of a bigger community. And this meant a lot to me. It is so powerful. Dentistry needs more disruptors and more innovators. They need more people who bring different perspectives. And in the growing field of diversity, where we have more women in dentistry now than ever before, we're starting to get more people who aren't white being in the field. They all have different experiences and perspectives. And all these people need to share what is going on and what they're seeing and how we can improve. And the only way this happens is if we start speaking up to change the course and direction of this field. Nobody who looks like me has really spoken up before, and I'm starting to do so. And I invite you to do the same. The dental industry needs to be upgraded on a regular basis. I know that I don't have all the answers, but you definitely have some because you have your individual experiences and you have to share them to make the industry better. So just know that you are not alone, right? There are more people who look just like you who are doing very similar things. Start reaching out on social media because when you do that, you can create these connections and bonds that you may not have been able to do in person because the place where you live just doesn't have people who look like you. And so when you do that and you start speaking up, you start forming these connections where we can all start supporting each other. And know that the more you voice your opinion and share your experiences, the bigger of impact you can make in this profession and for those who may not feel comfortable speaking up. So to bring it all together, you need to know you are important. Your experiences are valuable. And there are so many people going through the same thing. So don't be afraid to speak up or call things out when you see if they don't look right. Because I can almost guarantee you, other people have experienced it and they have done nothing about it because they assume that this is just the way that things are. Everybody has accepted so many things as the norm. You need to challenge it. So start speaking up for the younger version of you. Because every year there are more and more young dentists who are coming into this profession who have no idea what lies ahead. And if you don't start making a difference and changing things, then they're going to have to suffer through the same things that you did. And I wish someone did that for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget, drill that like and subscribe button if you found any value in this and share it with someone that you think may benefit. I'll see you in the next video.